On Zoom. 4, 3, 2, 1. That was Love Is Gone by Sandy Wiles and David Wilkinson right here on the sessions on 107.6. I've been joined on a video call with Jack Hinks and Fiona Liddells. Hello, guys.
Hi.
I can't hear Jack again. He's away again.
He seems to have frozen, yes.
He seems to have frozen.
Hello.
Oh, he is there. He is there. He's back. Now, we better explain. Oh, no, that's it. That's the interview over, right? Switch it off.
That's
right?
it.
That's it. Right. We better explain what's going to happen tonight, because this is going to descend into chaos. And I don't mind saying this on air. Jack and Fiona came in, was it 18 months ago?
2 years ago. Yeah, maybe about
2 years ago. I'd have to look through my Facebook feed. I'll maybe do that at some stage. You came in here, you performed some Hinks songs, and we've got the recordings here. We play them a couple of times a month. I play them all the time.
Oh,
thank you.
Lynchpin's one that I play all the time. Retail gets played all the time.
oh,
They're part of the bulk of the session stuff.
oh, wonderful.
And you guys are musicians. You tell me. You introduce yourself.
Oh, sorry, yes. Sorry,
why am I telling them? It's your job. That's why you're here.
Right, go on, Jack. Who are you?
Oh, me first, Anna.
Yes.
Well, we were musicians, but now it's the grey line is a little bit it's a little bit unstable to tread along. I guess we can still call ourselves musicians. And we have a podcast together. We perform in a whole bunch of different outfits and bands when there were gigs in the before four times. So I'm a singer-songwriter, as is Fee, but we also work on each other's stuff, and we've been doing a lot more obviously
Solo
remote
stuff
recording and
or
writing
visual
recently.
stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
And
That's
we're here
pretty
to
much
talk.
my stuff, yeah.
Pretty much Fiona covered as well.
Covered me as well, that's fine.
We're here to talk about the podcast that you've got on the go. We're here to talk about the life and the experiences of musicians at the moment. How can people be in touch? How can people get your podcast? Is it available?
Yeah.
I've been listening to it. We've discussed this already off there. But how can people out there that haven't heard of this, how can they get your podcast?
They can find us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, and they can also find us through Jack's website. It's called Line Check with Jack and Fee, and it's out every Wednesday about midnight time. But obviously, you don't have to get it then. You can get it later in the morning, like you do, Elmo. And you can find Jack at Jack Hinks Music and me at Fiona Liddells Music, Liddell Music, and that's where you can find us.
We will mention that a few times throughout the next 40 minutes, or could be an hour. I'm not quite sure how this is going to play. I'm currently skimming through my Facebook feed here, trying to find a picture of us from way back then. I'm trying to work out when it was you were in, but there's so many pictures in here, it's ridiculous. I'm going to have to actually try this one.
I think it was 2017.
It was way back, wasn't it?
Right then.
that long ago?
I know what I was wearing, which is weird, but I don't remember the year. I was wearing the green shirt, I'm pretty sure.
It wasn't Christmas time, was it? We didn't have a Christmas tree in the background. That's quite an obvious one. No Christmas times.
All I remember it was about 47.
Anyway, enough of me skimming through my Facebook page. We've got a couple of tunes we're going to play. We've got a tune, Fiona's new tune and Jack's new tune. Do you want one of them now, or do you want to do them later on?
I'm happy to do one now, yeah. Well, first off, I'm just going to go first, Jack, sorry. My song that's going to be...
No, you do it.
It's called Graceless, and it's with my electric duo Geffergeist, who released a song on the 30th of October on all different streaming services and whatnot. There's also a fully animated music video that's on YouTube, created by Tyler Andrew Mortimer, who is a good friend of ours at Blank Page Digital Art. So if you want to go see all the visuals that we've got for the video, the music video, the song, then check it out.
Here we go. Now, my mic is off here, so I'm not being broadcast on FM, and your mic is off on FM, so nobody can hear you on FM, but our Zoom and Facebook recording will still hear us.
Yes.
But I can't hear you. Wait a minute. There we go, that's it. But now I can't hear the backing track. Damn it. See, I knew there was going to be an issue here.
There's something.
Right. I can't hear the backing track and listen to your voices at the same time.
Right. There's me.
Fine, yes. Beautiful.
So sick of this song.
It has harp-like sounds, possibly from a stringed instrument that could be a harp.
What review was that?
Uh-huh.
That was weird.
It was Advasan.
Was it on like the review? That's fine. Like,
Oh, it was a lovely review, but it's just
the
like,
writing style
it's
was
got
a bit
ethereal, like
weird.
string-like things that sound
No.
like a harp.
This is very odd because I can hear the backing track and I can't hear what Jack's saying. He could be calling me all kinds of names in this recording. And that's
not.
fine, I don't mind. I can't. But if I do that, I can now hear you.
Oh no.
People on
He's
Zoom
gonna
can hear us all. Oh no. That's it.
Who's gonna get me?
But you can't hear the backing track. Nobody can hear the backing track.
What,
Which
even
is-
people listening?
No, it's still being broadcast on FM. No.
Oh
Oh,
no!
good. Oh
Oh,
no.
wait a minute. Oh yeah, is it? Of course it is.
Just to make you
I've done
para.
that before.
Oh,
You're laughing about that, Fiona, but I've done it all before. Broadcast things I should have been listening to things I should have been broadcasting. I've done all
Aye.
it. Oh, it's right. Back to the trip.
That's live radio for you.
That's live radio for you. That's East Coast for you.
Aye. No, I like the Avo Sound review. It was really
Oh yeah, it was a really good
detailed
review.
and
It
stuff.
was
Yeah, it was way better than
super comprehensive.
the ones that paid like 15 quid for. To just be copy and paste by ECFM.
Yeah, totally. We should have two bought follows.
It's alright, isn't it?
Ain't bad, son. Of course it's great.
Neil the Gardener.
Does he listen to the podcast?
Absolutely not. Are you kidding? Of course not. Why would Neil listen to anything I do?
Doing something for free? Nah. I can play Dark Souls for free.
Nah, I'm much more of the person who's like, well, I get paid. No.
We must have took a picture of us underneath that.
I'm
I don't
positive
know.
we
I
did.
think it was 27.
Maybe it'll be on mine. I'm not sure.
Nice stomping.
Kick. Oof.
60 seconds or so.
I know, I heard this a million times. There was a minute to go. So many vocal layers. I can't even remember. I've recorded it so many times.
Sorry. 30 seconds. That was Graceless. Now, make sure I get this right. Giffergeist?
Geffergeist, yeah, that's what we've been saying.
Giffergeist. Oh,
It means
okay.
danger ghost, apparently.
Oh, Danger Ghost.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's from a book the
Um,
producer Neil read by Michael Fletcher, I want to say? It doesn't matter, but yeah, that's where the name's from.
Tell me a little about the kind of writing process for that. Was it your own tune, or was it somebody else's tune that you
Yeah.
borrowed, or was it all your own material?
It was me. I did the chords and the lyrics. I wrote the majority of like the chords and the lyrics and stuff when waiting. I think I was doing vocal lessons at a school in Musselburgh, and I was waiting for a student called Grace to turn up late for her lesson. So
Okay.
the word graceless kind of just came to me. And then those chords, I was trying to find just the strangest major chords and sort of string them together with like a melody over it, basically. And graceless God came into my head, and the rest kind of just flowed from there. So I had that, and I had the chords, and then took it to Neil. Avid listeners of the podcast will know him as Neil the Gardener. So that's you.
Neil the Gardener, yeah, that's the one, yeah.
Neil Ray.
Hey, man, yeah. Him, yeah.
Yeah, him. And he took the chords and added the bass and added everything else you hear on top of it, and made me record a million vocal layers again and again and again and again over the course of 2 years, and that's the result. So that's kind of where it came from.
Sounds absolutely fantastic. I was
Thanks.
dancing along there, and Jack was giving it wildy there in the Zoom call. I'm not quite sure if he was making any noises or if he was just miming along. I'm not quite sure, because I couldn't hear him at different times. Jack, tell me a little bit about your writing process. Do you do the lyrics first, or do you do the chords first, or do you kind of mix and match it?
So I used to always write both sort of together. I mean, traditionally, the music has always come first, but not in its entirety. Usually, I never really sit down and go, today I'm going to write a song and it's going to sound like this and it's going to tick these boxes. It almost always starts with me playing something on guitar and then mistakenly doing something that I go, oh, actually, I quite like that. And then I'd start playing around with it more and build it up on the guitar. And then I think as time's gone on, I've started writing lyrics almost completely separately, because I've done a lot of gigs with like making backing music to go with spoken word poetry, almost usually completely off the cuff, where someone walks up to the mic and goes, all right, cool, here's 3 words to describe the poem. Kind of like tense then happy, go, and then I have to come up with a backing track.
It's always tense then happy.
Tense then happy.
But yeah, so usually, because I've been like hanging around with a lot of poets and seeing a lot of people perform poetry, I've been almost driving a bit of a wedge between the music writing process and the lyrics writing process. So I'm trying to almost write it in a sense that it could stand alone without music. So I guess I wouldn't want to call myself a poet, because I don't think I deserve that yet.
Don't call yourself a poet.
This is another joke within the podcast. Poetry's not for me is a quote from Fiona from the podcast. Was that episode?
A published poet.
I think it was the first one. Yes, I'm
probably the first one. Yeah.
Let's not go into that. Basically, years ago, you and I both did music for the Loud Poets, which is now I Am Loud. And the joke for the whole time I was there, which was about 5 years, was that I don't like poetry and I don't like spoken words.
Right.
And it was half a joke, half sort of true.
Right,
And yeah, it just became like, oh, we're all good mates, and we all still hang out and still chat, and that's still one of the main jokes everyone comes back to, is that Fee doesn't like poetry, so it's just stuck around.
But yeah, as a musician, you kind of need to use poetry at some stages, and it's interesting. Now, and I think it was episode 3 in the podcast, you mentioned, and we've just mentioned it off air, just briefly there, about seeing music as I've forgotten the colours as music.
Synesthesia, seeing colours in music, and like Jack claims to see colours when he hears certain, is it chords or notes, or you
I mean, it's less of I mean, I think the textbook definition of synesthesia is maybe blending colors and different mediums with music. For me, it usually happens when mostly with the music that I'm doing, because I'm making a pig's something of this. Basically, the songs that I write, I usually picture in a certain color scape. And for me, because guitar is my native instrument, when I play it, I've now associated, in a sense, to teach myself how all of it's put together, I see it in sort of like sweeping gradients of color as well. So for me, chords are certain colors, but it's not always a thing that I can pick out from, say if I was listening to someone else's piece of music, I wouldn't say this is definitively this color. It's like, it gives me a certain indication, but
color
usually most of the stuff that I write has an associated color in mind with me. So
so fabric, for instance, was
fabric
blue
was
you?
light blue because it's in B minor, and retail is sort of like pinkish red because it's in C sharp minor. And I tried to reflect that in the artwork for the cover and also the video that we do. So that's why there's kind of these hints of colors for each one. It's meant to be intentional, and I hope it's like come across as looking fitting, but it's probably a thing that only I worry about.
It definitely is.
When you mentioned it within, I should really explain that. I explained off air again. We've had a conversation off air. Everybody knows that we do. When I walk to work, I listen to your podcast in my earbuds as I walk to work. I've got about 20-minute walk, give or take, and I only get about a third of your episodes, and then I've got to catch up again the next day, or to drop back in again halfway through. And when you were talking about this, Jack, I was trying to think about how I see music, and how maybe my wife's a piano teacher and she's flute player, clarinet player, and how she sees music, and how my children see music, because I've got 3 young kids. And it was really interesting I had a brief discussion with my 7-year-old about this, and he said he could see that. And I didn't know if it was just his imagination, or if it was synesthesia. I'm going to
That's interesting,
research.
though.
It is really interesting. I can't express. I can't find the words to describe how interested I am about this. I could talk about this all night, I think.
A few big artists
found
certainly have it, I think, as well. Like Ed Sheeran, I think, claims to have synesthesia, and a few others. I definitely do.
There's, I saw like a visual artist on I think on Instagram or something, and their entire thing, I think their name is Jack Cooter, but their entire thing is they have collections of like acrylic paintings where they paint smells.
Oh, that's weird.
And so it's like, I suppose maybe not always with colors and music, but it's just a visual representation of a non-visual art form. I don't know.
Okay.
It's where like they paint different perfume brands where it's like, oh, this is Paco Rabanne. It smells like this. Bam, these colors.
How weird.
And it's like a lot more interpretive and I suppose not conventional, but I really like it because it's. I think I definitely associate.
That is just reminded me of one of the teachers at the high school that I work in. She is a fantastic teacher, but she's really dyslexic. She has trouble spelling, and she once said years and years and years ago, I've only just remembered this, that she sees the days of the week in certain colors.
Oh, same.
Wow.
Same.
We've had this chat as well. How do you see like the months of the year? I see it on like a weird line gradient from January down. I don't know why. And the days of the week I see is like a straight line where Monday's here and Sunday's here, and then you just go back to Monday.
See, I mean, we could talk about this all night. Forget about the music. We could talk about this.
Talk about weird things, weird mental things. But yeah, colors for days of the week. You see colors, right?
Yeah.
Do you see it as a circle?
Yeah, because
did you see that?
No, a week is a straight line.
Week is a straight line.
Yeah. But I think a lot of it is somewhat associated. It might be for socks at least. Sorry, for the weeks at least. When you get those days of the week socks, when some of them I agree with.
No idea what you're talking about. Yeah.
Sorry, my bad.
I'm caught up now. Yeah.
One of my friends. One of my friends had a set of days of the week socks that were clearly from a different brand, and the colors for the days were all wrong, and it really stressed me out.
Oh no!
It's like Monday is not blue. What are you talking about, you psycho?
Why is Monday blue? Yeah.
You're insane.
Yeah.
Thursday should be pink. Thursday should be pink.
Thursday should be pink. Thank you.
Wow. It could have been any color.
Pinkish reddish.
Yeah.
Checking the color of my socks. I've not got a pair on, so I'm not going to show you my socks.
To bring it back to music slightly, I remember hearing in an interview when Jimi Hendrix was talking to, I think he was trying to get a guitar pedal or a certain amp made or something, and he said, "Hey man, can you make it sound purple?" And that's what Purple Haze is.
Oh, I see. That's weird.
Okay.
And so I think he had that same sort of like connection where he's like, I have an idea of how I want it to sound, and the easiest way to describe it
would be purple.
would be with a color.
Fair enough.
So I
then
think
again,
that
do
like
we all
there's
think purple? Do we all
hints
see
of it.
purple as the same thing, or do we all see purple as how somebody else would see red and all that stuff? Yeah. How
Too
can
much
we be
now,
sure
that, Fee,
that
that's-
my red
that's-
is your red?
That's too much. Too
Sorry,
much.
it's only Wednesday.
This is Wednesday. We don't know what color Wednesday is.
It's
so,
only green. Come on, guys.
Only the middle of
Right,
my
right.
line.
I'm going to play another tune. Right, I'm going to play one of Jack's tunes. Jack, I think we're going to play Jigsaw.
Magic.
I hope we're going to play Jigsaw if my pen drive is going to work. And we'll come back and have a wee chat again after this. And I might throw in one of the live tunes that we did previously.
Cool.
The last time you were in, I'm going to have to look through the system here on the computer and find which one. And we can have a discussion about it. I'll tell you which ones I've got and which ones you'd like to hear. Because you both play on the live stuff, but you play on each other's stuff anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
No.
So Jack, tell me a bit about Jigsaw.
Jigsaw is so I sat down with myself one day and I decided that I wanted to plan out a concept EP where I would write a song that represents each of the 5 stages of grief. And it's still a work in progress, but in order to try and focus on how I see it as a cyclical nature, there's, in the standard theory of it, there's, you start at denial and then you go through all the way to acceptance. But I feel like there's like life in itself isn't quite as linear. So like you can always have lots of different stages going on or different things that overlap. So I wanted to try and start with acceptance to focus on how it all, for me, just seems to be never ending as a circuit. So Jigsaw is my interpretation of acceptance in the stages of grief, and it is green because it's
So
in A
everyone
minor.
knows it's green.
Here we go.
But yeah, it's coming out on the 20th, and yeah, I'm really excited to get it out.
Yeah, I think you cut you off, love. Tell them later.
That's fine. That's fine.
That's all right. Hard to
That's
tell.
you. It's now live and we're clear.
Yep.
Oh, that's really loud. Oh,
Come on, Gary.
Go on, guys.
I'm having a look through the videos now to see if I can see the year we were on. Words wrong again. Got the words wrong again. Every
How
second.
long has this been recorded?
Man.
Hey, bro, Ernest, what are you going to do?
I can't hear you again.
It's fine. We're having a laugh about me not knowing the lyrics to this song.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to discuss that on here in a minute. Yeah, fine.
No idea.
I'm keeping this playing so that if this does go onto YouTube, people watching this can hear the backing track.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But I can't hear you. No, it's fine.
11th of April 2018. Lies. Absolute lies. Remember violin?
Nope.
Oh, I don't even know. I can't remember what the notes are.
Probably just A.
Rubbish.
The vocals Scats was really fun. You're fun.
You're fun. Love
Chuck.
Ten, 9, 8. That was Jigsaw by Jack Hinks right here on the sessions on 107.6. Thank you very much for that. Are you there? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes,
I can
hello.
hear you. That's good. There we go. Just a look at blank faces there, which is always a bit of a worry. Doing things this way. I have got Fiona Liddell and Jack Hinks on a video call. They are broadcasting into the studio, and I'm broadcasting that back out. We're here talking about their new podcast that's out every Wednesday. We're here talking about music. We're here talking about a bit of nonsense here and there. My wife, it's a message I just showed you. She's just messaged in, and she said that Tuesday is yellow.
So Jack,
I'm sorry, she's wrong.
your wife is.
My wife is wrong. I can't. No, Jack, you're wrong. I'm afraid.
No.
Very fair.
He has to say that. He has to say
Well, give me a second. I'm just going to skim what she said. She says, "No, it just is.
It just
It just is." And I've
That's
got
fine.
exclamation marks at the end.
back.
She must be listening at home.
Yeah.
And the week is sort of a spectrum, and Tuesday's just yellow.
That's it. That's her input.
You know what?
Fair
I
enough.
respect
That's
it.
fair enough.
It's not how I
respect
see it, but I respect it.
Well, my dad, I think, was saying he sees the months of the year as like a circle with like different colors in each of the different seasons, which is quite interesting as well. He sees it as a circle. So everyone's different, I think. I think I've just had to think about it. I think my calendar thing with this slight diagonal line in days a week thing is probably just writing days of the week on like the wall at school, and you see them like as different colors, and you write in what you're doing every day.
Or maybe it's just 2020, like
A plane crash. Oh no!
like a
Jack,
very
when-
steep decline in happiness.
Jack,
Everything
those-
2020 just crashes. What's that?
For those who want to know, when is your single out? Sorry, I think you mentioned.
It's out
Thank you,
on
Fiona.
November
You keep the
20th.
show
Alright.
going. Sorry, I'll sit back.
Thanks, V.
I kind of thought this was going to happen. It's all right. I'll switch my mic off for a minute, and
Yeah,
I'll
cool.
let Jack and Fee take over.
Don't need you anymore.
Line check, episode 7 with Jack and Fee. Right,
Yeah,
here you go.
we've recorded that today. It's
Right,
episode
there
8,
we go.
technically.
No, right.
All right.
Yeah, Jack, tell me when your single's out. Jigsaw,
Okay.
tell me about it.
So Jigsaw is going to be out on November 20th. It's also going to be like the video will be going live as well. It'll be going live on all your favorite streaming services like Apple Music, iTunes, and Spotify, Deezer, Tidal, Bandcamp,
Dailymotion.
SoundCloud, YouTube, everywhere.
will
But
be
yeah,
up.
we've been working on it for a long time, and I'm really proud and happy, really happy to bring out the song. But yeah,
No,
so
it's
thank you for playing it.
no. Thank you for sending it.
As I said in the podcast, I like this one. I'm on all of them. I like this one.
There's been so many jokes and so many things that I've been laughing at that
Yeah.
there's just not enough time to mention them all. I'm going to go back to my list that's on my phone to see if there's anything else we can mention, because it's been. Oh no, I've got a good one.
Okay.
I've got a good one. Right.
Oh,
You spoke about computer games a few times and different games you've done
Mm-hmm.
and extra things you've done through lockdown, which we might go back to in a minute because there's no time limit on this tonight. Normally it's a half hour, but we've gone over that already, so it's fine.
Oh, sorry.
But that's all right. That's all right.
I knew it.
We've missed the 9 o'clock news by 3 minutes. It was 3 minutes ago, but it's now finished, so it's fine.
Well, fine.
We'll
Nobody
catch
needs
up
to know
with
what's
10 o'clock
happening in the
news.
world. Yeah.
It's fine. Right. I don't know if we should do this on air. No, we will. We will.
Oh, God, you're right.
The very bottom one on my list here is make Jack cry. Right, Fiona's laughing and smiling about it. And I was laughing about this, about an ongoing joke, about an ongoing thing at your gigs that happens every now and again. Jack's looking a bit sheepish there on the Facebook. Right, Fiona, do you want to explain this one, or do you?
I'll try. I think I remember. Yeah, it was a gig we were doing in Glasgow, and Jack had a particularly bad day, either at his job or something happened musically. I'm not sure, but he was a bit down. We were about to go on stage, and I think the bassist Will turned around and just said, "Hey guys, let's make Jack cry."
Right,
so we all proceeded to just bully Jack. To make his good day even worse. It was a kind of, so if you can't laugh at yourself, what can you do sort of thing. So we're trying to cheer you up by showing how much we love you by crying.
It depends if
it wasn't the best plan, but
I don't think, like, don't try and turn this around into like a mercy killing. Like, you were doing it for me. You were doing it for your kicks, and that was it.
Yeah, it was still pretty funny. Well, you survived. You got out of it. You're still doing stuff. You're fine.
That's true.
Despite that woman shouting that it was my band and not your band.
Yeah, there was a heavy seasoning of depression that that night.
That's that depression blowing in. No, you're fine. We don't do that anymore though, since it's just you and me.
When you say we, it's because the band kind of disbanded. You still do that. I'm like, I wrote a song today. That sucks. It's terrible.
I said the one
lyrics
you
are
wrote
terrible.
this week was very good. That was the one time when I heard the lyrics wrong. As I always do. But yeah, that's where Make Jack Cry kind of came from. And since the band has stopped, it has become less of a thing. But as best friends do, there are occasionally bits where we insult each other very harshly.
That's the way a good friendship should be.
I think so. Yeah, you never cry about it. Well, maybe I don't know. Maybe you turn off the Zoom call
soon as the camera goes off
and just cry your eyes out and then edit the mess of a podcast.
2020 again. Yeah.
He's making it worse.
Right. Let's go back to semi-serious again.
Okay.
No, I can't do it. I can't do it.
What are we going to talk about?
Right, I'm looking at my screen here in front of me. Obviously, nobody else can see it. And we're not going to do it right now, but we're going to talk about them as we go through them. We've got retail, sober, jigsaw. I think I've got the live session, but we've played the full version anyway. So we can't do jigsaw again. Or linchpin. They're the kind of retail, sober, or lunch, and fabric I've got as well. They're just in a funny order on my screen. So it's really up to you if you have a personal preference or if you have one that you'd rather I didn't play. I can play any of them.
You could do retail because that was your single before. Jigsaw if you want to remind people.
True. Could also do fabric.
That's too long ago, mate. No one cares anymore.
While back that.
Fair enough.
Make Jack cry. Here we go.
Sailed.
So retail is the one we want. I want to put that in my player here ready to go. There's no rush for it because it's there ready to go whenever I need it. I'm just going to explain again. We've got Jack Hinks and Fiona Liddell here on a video live feed for anybody that's just joined us and tuning into the nonsense that we've got going. And we're talking about their new podcast, Line Check with Jack and Fee, available on Spotify and Google Play.
Apple Music is on. Apple Podcast, sorry, it's on as well.
Go out and check it out. Google them. Go and find them out. Fiona Liddell Music. I had them all written down.
You're fine. You're right. You're fine. And I copied Jack, so.
I was the first musician, clearly.
Yeah.
Jack Hinks Music as well, obviously.
Jack Hinks Music, Fiona Liddell Music, exactly.
I did have them. I had your Instagrams and all that. Now wait a minute. Instagram was.
Oh, it's different, yeah.
Oh, I don't remember.
Yours is a mess, Fiona.
It's not a mess.
It's a mess because I don't remember.
It's Leona Fidel. So just my initial swap round. I think I made the mistake of making a personal account and then transferring it into a career account.
And to make it into a music one.
Yeah, the name doesn't make any sense. Well, Fiddle's funny because my last name and the instrument I play are the same if you put an F there. Or it was when I made the account.
That would be funny if I could find your account.
I know.
Well, that's it. That's the issue we've got.
Oh dear. Yeah.
Ongoing issues with us still here at East Coast with Twitter, but we're not going to talk about them, so we don't talk about Twitter anymore.
Okay.
I'll tell you about that off air.
I'm not a fan of Twitter anyway.
No, nobody is really. It's a platform for.
Twitter's a cesspool.
Calling out Twitter on the radio. How dare you?
Right. This has to say the chaos. And it's fine. Right, we're going to play Retail now, and then we'll have a wee chat again afterwards. There's no, like I said, there's no rush. I might finish the track. I might finish this interview with another track, and then that'll be us finished after the fourth one. That's fine. Tell us about Retail.
So Retail was a single that I wrote when I was still working a part-time job and trying to balance the sort of day-to-day working life with aspirations of doing music full-time. And unfortunately, I didn't really have enough of a balance between either, because as soon as I left the job for the day, I was doing music for almost the rest of the week. So I burnt myself out very quickly. And I suppose this was an amalgamation of that frustration. I tried to channel it all into a song instead of quitting.
Thanks for not quitting, Jack.
And this, I think this is the live version. I think this is the version you performed for me here last time you were in.
I found the date actually, 11th of April, 2018. That's when we were in. So it was
11th of April.
I was wrong. It wasn't 2017. It was the year after.
Oh, so it's 18 months ago. Yeah, it's April, May, June, July. Can't count. I'm not gonna finger.
2.5 years ago.
It's fine. Yeah.
Wow.
2.5 years ago.
Yeah, it's 2020, so it must be, yeah.
Oh,
Long
that
time.
makes me feel old. That anyway.
I plan to go watch it as well and see how much chaos we caused last time, but
Oh,
I
it was
didn't have enough time.
it was
But-
spectacular, but it was a
Quite
really
close to
enjoyable
it.
interview. Always is. Retail by Hinks. And we're
Don't
clear
remember.
again.
I don't remember if this is good or not. I'm sure it is.
I feel like we'll probably be able to tell, or for me at least,
Yeah.
I'll be able to tell that I was a lot younger.
Oh, maybe. Not enough facts.
Bear the mark of a broken man. Low eyes, cracked lips, and the way I
Bad.
stand.
Ain't bad.
The kid still got it.
Get out with the pillars, keep a hold. Born into bondage, our loyalty.
I wanna know this Twitter drama.
I know, eh?
Problem is I never fold.
No, I still sound like me.
Government like yours don't want me to. I waste my share on staying alive.
To be fair, we were probably better, like more practiced and
Yeah.
experienced musicians then than we are now.
Then we are now.
Just stop.
8 months off hasn't helped anybody.
8 more months.
Remember when your
8
hand
more
didn't hurt
months.
all the time?
Oh,
That was nice.
that was nice.
Not
Kind
bad.
of flat there.
Nah, it was fine. I think I'm just going to blame the Zoom call flattening it.
So you want to be treated
Sounds
good.
fair so does everyone else.
Oh, yeah, I'm still doing that. Okay.
Being up all night bouncing those troubles, trying to find a way up a paradox, but
Oh, I got it. Yeah, apparently I was sick 2 years ago as well. Who knew?
time keep breaking down.
It's after you started vaping, so it's fine.
Ah, was it? Oh, yeah, 2 years ago. Oh, yeah, you're right, yeah.
I promise you
It's
that
one of the funniest bits from the
one
last
time
episode.
retail.
Banana.
Banana. Forgot we called it that. Probably the best I've played it live, actually. Terrible every other time. Wonder if I forget.
Time keep breaking down.
Is there a bit missing from that we do in the live bits?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
when we did it live, we had the full band solo.
Yes. Oh, yeah,
Time keep breaking down till I can feel.
10, 9.
I promise you this. I won't die in retail.
That was Retail by Hinks. I've been joined by Jack Hinks and Fiona Liddell via a video call right here on the sessions on 107.6. Thank you for that track way back then, and thank you for tonight's
Yeah.
Video call.
That was better than we
Thank you for having
remember.
us.
Oh, well. They were all fantastic songs. Like I said,
Yeah.
they are part of
Wow.
the system here. I've played them a couple of times a month. I don't play them all a couple of times a month. I play one of them every fortnight, give or take.
Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely fantastic.
Jack,
There was a few funny.
Sorry, what were we saying?
I was going to say there was a few funny faces there when you were listening to that, and I could see you listening to that, and the fiddle bit, and there was all kinds of funny things going on there that I've tried not to laugh at.
We were saying you were saying that you said you were worried you were going to hear yourself as younger Jack from that because it was too weird.
Yeah, but then we realized that we were probably more experienced, practiced musicians back then than we are now.
Back then than you are now, yeah.
8 months off hasn't helped anybody.
Do you think, here's a bit of a strange question, do you think it's going to be nervous going back into gigging? Do you think it's going to take you a wee while to adjust? See, when COVID first happened way back in March and the schools shut, East Coast were pretty much on a skeleton staff.
Yeah.
There was like 4 presenters in over the whole day, and they were doing like 4-hour shifts, 4-hour shows, which is huge.
That is a lot.
You don't normally do that long on any radio show. So when I came back in after about 3 or 4 months off, it felt really strange being back in the big chair and being in command. And as you know, as you've been in, it's only me that's here. I am responsible for this, for everything that's happening. So do you think it's going to feel strange? That's it. At the moment, yeah, definitely blame me. I can blame you, Fia. Maybe it's all your fault.
That's true.
Do you think it's going to be nervous, or I don't know if nerves is the right word to use?
Anxiety, I think is what we've talked about this a little bit, because there was a moment in September where I think the Jazz Bar posted something about wanting live music back at the end of that month. Obviously it didn't happen, but I remember us chatting about, oh God, can you imagine going back on stage right now and just having like a slight whoa, that makes me feel really nervous. Because I think part of it is the fact that we're not, because for me anyway, singing, I think my voice definitely benefits from not constant use, but singing several times for long periods during the week keeps my voice strong. And the fact that I haven't been doing that for 8 months does make me very nervous about having to go. I'm still recording and things like that, but I'm not standing on stage for 4 hours belting it out. So I think I did a live stream in July, and at the end of it was only like 40 minutes, and at the end of it my voice was tired, and I was like, that's never happened before as far as I know. So I'm nervous about that aspect of it. I'm pretty sure our first gig back we'll feel like it's awful, and then after a couple of gigs we'll get back into the swing of it probably. Jack, how do you feel about going back gigging?
Yeah, I share a lot of the same sentiments. I think I'm trying to keep as practiced as I can, but for most of the lockdown, I've been having some issues with my hands and my fingers cramping up. So I've been going through some physio stuff to try and get back to a place where I can play for the same amount of time, because currently, or like over the last little while, I wouldn't have been able to play guitar for much more than a couple of songs before my hand just made me quit with pain. But I've been building it back up, and once I'm ready to go again, even inside, I'll feel more confident to get back into it. And like you say, it'll take a couple of gigs for us to get the full flow back, but I feel like it's going to be the same for everyone. Like people in the audience will be feeling that sort of oh, can you believe we're actually out and seeing live music again? So I think it's not just one side of the stage that's going to be feeling like that. I think there's going to be a whole social like a good while for society to start feeling normal again.
It's hard to stay motivated in terms of practice as well, because we don't know when this is going to finish. So
yeah, it is feeling quite bleak at times, and it starts to feel a little bit like, well, sure, we can release music, but if we're not even able to gig, does it really feel like the whole music like experience?
We've chatted about missing the human interaction of playing a live gig and then the audience responding to that either by talking to you or just dancing or whatever it is, just missing that sort of connection. And when you release stuff digitally,
I've missed all the compliments you get whenever we do a gig.
I've missed them too. My self-esteem has gone like 2020, going.
Mine somehow still coasted along at the bottom, like where it always
had years of Make Jack cry, so you've built up this shield of resilience that I don't have.
A really harsh compressor there.
Yep.
It's like, okay,
limit Jack.
We'll top out at like 10%.
Nope.
Right, we're pushing the 45-minute mark now, right?
Oh, and it might be.
But there's no, like I said, there's no rush. There's nobody else booked in. There's nobody coming in because we can't have guests, so that's no big deal. Thanks for that. Thanks, COVID.
Cheers, guys.
But anyway, I think we're going to come to an end. I think it's there's so much we could talk about. I mean,
I know.
I feel over the last wee while listening to your podcast, I've got to know you. That sounds strange because I've got to know you guys more because you know the same circles of people. And we mentioned Callum Baird in your podcast, and we mentioned them off air. There's been a few other people that you mentioned that I've known or I've met or.
Well, I'm sure your listeners feel the same about you. They think they know you really well.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, it's a really strange crossover here of your podcast and this show.
Crossover episode.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. That's what this show is all about, anyway. Oh, we didn't mention
Jack Horseman. Is this a big crossover episode?
Crossover episode.
Erica.
Do we ever see her? We're on a tangent.
No.
Sorry.
Right.
Back
It's
to
off again. Sorry,
again.
just wait a minute. We're coming back again. I was gonna mention Fee about your, is it Saturday sessions you call it?
Yeah, it's called Shout Out Saturdays, and what I do is just to keep the sort of local music community a bit, just to inject a bit of positivity into the time where we haven't got any gigs and we can only do stuff digitally. I've started making monthly playlists of my favourite Scottish releases from the past month. So for example, this month it's everything from October that I like in a big playlist, and then on Saturdays I do mini like video reviews about what I think of them and where to find these artists and that kind of thing. So it's called Shout Out Saturdays, and it's usually me rambling for like 20 seconds about what I like about the song and then where you find the song. And so far the response has been really positive. All the artists seems to make a lot of people's days, which is really nice. I've heard that a lot of people who follow the playlist then get messaged by people that didn't listen to their music that now have and like it, which is kind of the point. So bringing music to new audiences is kind of the point of it. Just hearing new music as well, because you realize when you go into lockdown, you have to sort of consciously engage with finding new music, or I found that anyway. And there was a point when I was releasing the live album where I was like, everyone listen to my thing, and then I looked at it, the sort of social media community on music right now, and it's just everyone posting their thing and nobody like listening to each other's thing. And I was like, this surely has to change. What right do I have to say everyone listen to my thing if I'm not hearing anybody else's? So I thought this would be a good way to change that, not stigma, but like the sort of the place we've fallen into where we're all just like posting our shiny thing and not listening to everybody else's shiny thing,
and not taking anything back in. Yeah. Well, if there's anything I can do or we can do here at the station to help you or vice versa, I'm happy to share social medias back and forward. I was going to do that after tonight's show anyway. This Zoom call, this video feed has been recorded to the cloud, to the Zoom server somewhere. I'll find that later.
Zoom heaven.
Zoom somewhere, it's away somewhere. California and back in a few seconds, or wherever they're based, I don't even know. So that will be available for you to use if you want it, and I'll stick it up on my YouTube channel if that's all right with you guys.
Of course,
yeah.
Tell us one more time how people can listen to the new podcast.
Podcast is on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. It's called Line Check with Jack and Fee. And yeah, that's where you can find that one. Music wise, the Graceless song you heard at the beginning of the show is by my band Geffergeist, which is GEFAHRGEIST. Now I know why DJs hate the name. They have to spell it and they can't pronounce it. Yeah, okay. You can type that in and find the song on Spotify or Apple as well. And on SoundCloud and everywhere else you can find it.
And your own personal music pages?
Oh yeah,
or your,
forgot about my stuff. My Instagram is Leona Fiddell, LIONAFIDDELL, and my Facebook is Fiona Liddells Music. LIDD.
And mine is at Jack Hinks Music.
Well, thank you very much.
All right,
to both of you. Right, I'm going to finish the show. Finish this interview just now before we descend into any more chaos.
Yeah.
Now we've got a choice. I've put linchpin into my player here, but I don't have to do linchpin. I could do fabric or sober.
If you like linchpin, I think it's good to end with one that you.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go.
Let's go with linchpin.
Elmo's choice. Yeah.
Right. So thank you very much, guys. That's it from Jack and Fee for tonight's show. We could do this again in a few months' time.
Yeah, we're not busy.
Do the same again. Send me some more songs. Send me some more stuff. I've got those on my pen drive. I've got them on my hard drive now. So we could do this again after Christmas time, maybe again.
Sure.
Sounds good.
I'm going to stick up links to your
everything's.
everything's Instagrams, Facebook pages, your podcast. I'll put the whole shebang up. I took a cheesy picture of our
Faces. Like
faces.
a little Zoom.
I did somewhere. I don't know if I can find it. So I'll stick that up on the Facebook page in the next
That's
half
great,
hour or
thank
so.
you.
Magic, thank you.
All the best,
Oh,
guys.
wonderful.
Beautiful picture. Of my blue hand glove
yeah.
like this. Yeah, it's great. Brilliant. So that's it, guys. Thank you very much. Finishing this part of the show with Linchpin by Hinks.
Oh,
And we're clear, guys. Thank you very much.
that was
You're
great
very
fun.
welcome.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
very much. That was ace.
You might be able to hear us. That's fine. I'm going to catch the rest of your podcast stuff during next week and catch up with this week's one sometime next week. So you might get a few odd messages from me as I'm laughing my way to school.
Like
laughing
4
my way to
weeks
work.
ago, like, what is he on about?
What's he talking about? Oh, that was that one.
Thank you for listening to it, though. I'm glad you enjoy it.
No, it's been
Really
brilliant.
fun to make.
My face has been so sore walking to work every day, and it puts me in a good mood for getting into a school with 800 kids with COVID everywhere.
Oh yeah.
So,
Oh, God.
thank you very much. I'm going to have to go and finish the rest of the show. The 20 or 35 minutes that I've got left. We're pushing into the hour there, Neil, of that interview. So that's another big one, but that's all right. That's what it's all about.
Sorry.
No, sorry. No.
It was great fun, though. I really enjoyed it.
Thank
nice
you very
to chat
much.
to you again, man. Thank you very much for having us.
Thank you, man.
We'll be back in January, hopefully. Somewhere.
Yeah, we'll do it again. Cheers.